shot by Buddha. Facebook Gaming in the building.
Into the end zone! Five Nations, stand up!
But why are we here today? We here today because, unfortunately, chat, the Tennessee Titans haven't had a quarterback. Well, let me rephrase that. The Houston Oilers Tennessee Titan franchise hasn't had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards since 1990 and 1991, back-to-back years. The run and shoot, Warren Moon, quarterback who graduated, watched the class of 78, played in the CFL before coming to the NFL. They tried to make him play receiver and defensive back. He said, no, I'm a quarterback and I'm finna throw for the most yards ever in the history of one said franchise. We talking about since the inception. So then when you get into the Tennessee Titan era, the record is 38-19 in the 2020 season with Ryan Tannehill, one of the more underrated QBs. I know the Bengals game is sour on everybody's mind, and his last season was horrible, but I hated Ryan Tannehill's era went out the way it did. You know, the Todd Downing Thursday night game, the DUI, the firing of John Robinson, Rand Carthon hired, didn't mix well with Vrabel. Tannehill started off the next season with some of the worst numbers you could ever see. I don't think he was fully healed from the high ankle sprain. I seen Patrick Mahomes come off the same injury and win a Super Bowl, but you know, Ryan Tannehill never made it back. Even though he did beat the Jaguars for the coup de grace, but not Steve McNair, not Kerry Collins, not Vince Young, not Marcus Mariota, Hasselbeck, Billy Volek, Jake Locker. We can just go down the line. Nobody's ever thrown for 4,000 yards. And when you take a quarterback number 1 overall in the NFL draft, and he wears the number of that said person, Warren Moon, I think this is a situation everybody understood year one. Brian Callahan, Nick Holtz, Bo Hardegree, Mike McCoy, games with Van Jefferson, Mason Kinsey, James Prochet running routes. We understand. But year two, Robert Saleh, Mike Bergonzi, Brian Daboll, Nick Singleton, Carnell Tate, Bellinger, Gunnar Helm, Calvin Ridley restructured, bring in Wan'Dale Robinson on a big deal. You got KJ Osborne, you got Bryce Oliver, Chim DK, Alec Aomana, Restrepo. You go get Jaron Kanek to go with DMR and Colin Granson. Like, they loaded up the offense this offseason with Khalil Mullins, Singleton. Tony Pollard is still there on a $9 million season, and Tajay Spears is on his contract year. So this is to say, with Brian Daboll, if Cam Ward don't break Ryan Tannehill's 3,819 yards this season and set the Titans era at least this season, I feel like it's a disappointment. What say y'all? I say Cam Ward at least breaks Tannehill's. You got an extra game. You got 18 weeks, 17 games. There is absolutely no reason for Cam Ward not to break the 38. And if he's really on pace with where we all think he should be, Cam Ward should hit the 4K this year. He should hit the 4K. All right, now let me get caught up in the chat. Izzy, what up? Not fitting like a glove. Ronaldo, they should look a lot more solid like an NFL football team. And I'm with y'all. I'm ready to see this schedule so we can start to put things into perspective. Titans been blessed with generational backs. That should make it easy for the quarterback. You got to think, Tannehill's Titans era record is on a 2,000 yard Derrick Henry season. And when you think about like the Ravens, Lamar Jackson run for 1,000. Derrick Henry run for 1,000. Lamar Jackson still throw for 3,000-4,000. Like, it can be done. Look at James Cook married with Josh Allen. Like, there's always been good backs that really make things a lot easier when it comes to play action and how the safeties and linebackers reacting in coverage. Nick, what up? Roll Tide. Did Young get close? No. Even realistically, like, Air McNair never really got close. Probably won't have one this season either, just being honest. But do you think he could just won't be the best season? The O-line will be an issue. I disagree wholeheartedly with you. Like, all right, I'm going to just start here. This is the best wide receiver core I can remember the Titans having in the last 10, 20 years. Think about it. When they traded and got Julio Jones and AJ, that was a dynamic duo. Chester Rogers was the third receiver. We're talking about Chester Rogers. That interception on the goal line in the Bengals game was a pass to Chester Rogers. We're talking about Carnell Tate, who, if you want to go look at my YouTube video of saying that Carnell Tate is literally the highest profile receiver we've ever drafted. We've already cleared that debate. You got Carnell Tate. You bring back Calvin Ridley with a lot of tread because he didn't play much last year on a restructured deal where he don't have to be the guy. Then you bring in Wan'Dale Robinson, Chim DK, who broke the all-purpose rookie record last year. And you got to remember, they didn't even start trying to get DK and Aomon the ball till like week 7. They was force-feeding Tyler Lockett and Van Jefferson at the time. Gunnar Helm, Bellinger, Jaren Kanak, Colin Granson, DMR, like, you got a good tight end room, and now your running back room is Pollard and Spears on contract years, Nick Singleton, and then Khalil Mullins. Michael Carter is your 5th. There's no Julius Chestnut as your 3rd running back. This is the most talented offensive roster. And I know people are going to be like, but what about the O-line? Clearly, if you have Daboll and you have Mike Bergonzi laying the line out the way they have, they still have a lot of money. They have when they got Pat Coogan, who we all penciled in the draft, who we wanted. What's the difference between Sloatman and Corey Levin? Corey Levin played better than Lloyd Cushenberry last year. Cushenberry played like 50% of the times that he was supposed to be available anyways. So unless we're going to go back and get Ben Jones, like, we're going to waste all day talking about, the line. That line that they put makeshift at the end of last season was at the top of the league and running the second half of the season. A lot of the sacks that people get caught up on Cam Ward taking was on Cam Ward and Brian Callahan's offense. If you go back and watch the tape, how many times do Cam Ward have to eat sacks because the routes are horrible? I don't care who you have at left and right tackle and who's playing, whether it's Oli Udoh, whether it was J.C. Latham, it don't matter. When they played the Browns, Myles Garrett barely could get in the backfield because they was running the football and calling decent plays. If you think about the biggest miss in that game was Cam Ward missing DK on the deep over. Ward gets 3,825 touchdowns. Dallas by 10 week 1. Don't matter, you the champ Seahawks. Y'all not going back to back. Y'all should be good, Nick, but not back to back is tough. Y'all should be good, but back to back is tough. Like, the stars have to literally align for you to get back to back. Better than Green Beckham. Joe Blacko, what up? So is this better than the thing that went to the Super Bowl? I would say yeah. Like, that Super Bowl team was Javon Curse and their defense and Tennessee Titans, like, grinding out ugly games. Go back and watch them seasons. I be watching them games. Like sometimes if y'all be on my late night streams, we'll watch those games. I'll go late night live tonight and we'll watch the 99, 2000, 2002 championship game. Man, that was like Eddie George with no fullback, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. McNair just make a play. The defense is holding you in it. It wasn't like they was just dynamic. You got to think. The only 4,000-yard passer in franchise history is Warren Moon. Warren Moon had like 4,600 yards back-to-back seasons in 90 and 91. That Super Bowl team was not airing it out like that. It's really not, Joe Blacko. If you like, you got to remember the first part of the season. You played the Broncos on the road week 1. J.C. Latham get hurt. Brian Callahan is calling screen passes where there's no receiver on the goal line. All of what they was doing offensive line wise. You play the Rams week 2. Week 2, you got the lead in the fourth quarter versus the Rams and start calling dumbass plays. Then you play the Texans and the Colts when the Texans and the Colts was full throttle. Broncos defense, Rams defense, Colts defense, Texans defense is your first 4 games for Cam Ward. You gotta remember, Cam Ward played against the Seahawks defense. Like, he played all the top defenses in the league with nothing on offense and no play caller. We talking about Bo Hardegree calling orbit motion Chim DK to block a screen pass for Tyler Lockett. Bro, like, that's the type of plays we running. Throw halfback flea flickers against the Texans defense. Like, that's the type of stuff that they was calling. For sure, Nick. Yeah, Calvin, they should be better. Like, my thoughts for the Titans is try to get the 500 football and see what happens. I just want to see them compete. This can't be a team that average 16 points a game for like the last 4 or 5 years. Like, since the 2020 season, this team has averaged 16 points a game. That is not enough. This team should have a good defense, and this team's offense should be able to move the ball and score points. If this team don't score 20-some points a game, I'm going to be sick. I think it's going to be Jets and Titans, Kevin. 2 times say, look who decided to hit the live button. Man, I showed when it's time. May not come when you want him, but he'll be there right on time. Right on time. Like, don't get me started. Kevin said we're going to kick your ass. Kevin always be doing the most. I don't know why Kevin. Kevin, put the fentanyl down, the hardcore drugs and the beer and stuff, man. Start drinking water and exercise and fasting and praying in the morning. Tighten up, Stevie B. Swag, what up? Texans had a Super Bowl when the defense trial was seeing Ghost out there. Yeah, but then you think too, like, I think the Texans, if you go back and look at I did a breakdown on every single division. I really think the Texans had the best offseason in the South, though. Like, when you think about Keelan Rutledge and Wyatt Teller in the trenches, bringing David Montgomery over, they get Tank Dell back. They get Nico Collins healthy. They get Dalton Schultz healthy. Like, they was missing a lot of their pieces in that game, and then CJ Stroud just didn't play well. I think when you look out there and it's like Nico Collins is beat up, Dalton Schultz go out, there's no Tank Dell. Yeah, it's like CJ just was too much for CJ. Texans scared me this season though, because their defense got even more guys too. Broncos was definitely top 10 once Knicks went out. That was their, yeah. I mean, because thing about Bo Nix is, like, Bo Nix was an old quarterback coming in anyways with a lot of experience. Bo Nix is more athletic than people think. So, like, you look at Drake May and Bo Nix and you don't think how athletic they is. They can buy time in the pocket. They can extend plays. And now the Broncos have Jalen Waddle too. Good Lord. Eugene, what up? You sound like Usher on Kevin Hart, Russ. Dishes I don't think people realize how good Cam is already. Yeah, I think if you really watch Cam, and I watched all his games, it's like to see him still like mentally not check out and still be able to make plays with whatever they was giving him. Like people just can't see like Cam Ward is in the game against the Broncos and the coach is failing him. The Titans didn't have a game where they had more rushing yards than their opponent to the Browns game. Like the Titans was running for like 20, 30 yards a game with a rookie quarterback that by the Raiders game, you talking about the offensive coordinator, you talking about the head coach and play caller being demoted, the offensive coordinator not getting to call plays, it going to the quarterback's coach, and then you firing the head coach and play caller who built the offense and his daddy who's the offensive line coach and the run game coordinator. So it's just all screwed up into the bye week. And to see him still get out there and like fight and still show flashes of times where like, even though he don't have a number one receiver, like Calvin really is a 2 at this point. He was not there last year. You had Chimere Dike and Aomana, 2 4th-round rookies out there, and 2 tight ends in Chig and Gunnar Helm, who was another 4th-round rookie. That was it. That's the best you got to offer, because once you get past that, we talking about Van Jefferson. Tyler Lockett walked out with seven catches for 70 yards was Tyler Lockett. Van Jefferson, James Prochet, and Mason Kinsey. Like, who you not beating the 49ers, the Seahawks. You not beating the Colts and Texans and Jaguars defense last year when they still had Devin Lloyd and Travis Hunter. Like you not beating the Rams defense. You not beating the Broncos defense. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just too many teams. They just ran into buzzsaws. Like these defenses is too good for you to go out there with nothing. Then meanwhile, you got Samuel Womack guarding Jackson Smith and Jigba. And I can remember on the breakdown of that game, Big Jeff was like, "Why y'all got safeties guarding JSN?" I'm like, go look at the tape. Armar Davis, Samuel Womack, and Baker Jr. was like falling down trying to guard Jackson Smith and Jigba in that game. Like it's several times where Samuel Womack just fell down. He got cut on that Monday. He didn't even make it 24 hours after the game. It says second year, you really think he'll throw for 4K? Like, if Ryan Tannehill threw for 3,819 yards with Corey Davis and A.J. Brown as a rookie and Derrick Henry running for 2,000, I could see Cam Ward playing an extra game of 17 games that Cam Ward should break the 38-19. And if he really having a decent season, he should throw for 4K. Like, think about Drake May. Drake May threw for 4,300 yards last year with a makeshift group of receivers in his second year. When you got a decent coach that's coming in, it's going to demand some kind of excellence. You see what I'm saying? Like, he ain't got to throw for 4,300 yards like Drake May. But if he throw for 4,000, bruh, like, he'll break the Titans era record. But it was no choice though. 2 times, like, you firing the coach, you firing the offensive line coach and run game coordinator. Your offensive coordinator can't take over the play calling, so it go to your quarterback's coach. Calvin really breaks his leg. Tyler Lockett basically walks off on the team. Like, what do you do if you Cam Ward? But that's the thing we all love about Cam Ward and respect. He kept playing. He kept balling. He kept making plays. And then, like, when you go back and look at the Seahawks game, the Rams game, the Broncos game, all these games where he's giving nothing, like Cam Ward is still fighting and got them in the game, in a game in the fourth quarter just from him making plays. Like, our leading receiver last year was Chig Okonkwo. He had 500 yards receiving. He's a tight end. He's not an inline tight end. He's a move tight end. And he led the team in yards after catch. So it's like you didn't even have a receiver that could get yards after catch because Brian Callahan didn't realize he had Jim DK and A.O. Monitor until like week 6 or 7 when Tyler Lockett quit. So just think about what DK's numbers could have been if week 1 they would have been giving him the ball instead of Tyler Lockett and Van Jefferson. He would have destroyed the record. He might have went for like the all-time record if it wouldn't been for that, like not the rookie record, the Tim Brown record. Like he would have went for like the whole shit. Yeah, like 500 footballers is like what they should be shooting for. I don't think the Jaguars will be what they was last year. The Texans will have a better start than last year. But the Texans is kind of like, let's wait till we get to the playoffs to see what the Texans going to do. And then the Colts fans was mad at me, but the Colts depend upon Daniel Jones having a miracle and healing from a broken leg and an Achilles and coming back 100% with a less talented offense. And if he can do that, then the Colts will be it. I don't see it. Stephen B was good. Yeah, Saleh is a good defensive coach. He got a whole new playbook, but you gotta think like Daboll got a lot of time with Cam in the draft process because y'all, the Giants, was gonna draft him, and like Cam is a workaholic. You gotta think he went from running wing T offense in high school to going to Incarnate Word to Washington State to Miami. He had 2 different play callers last year. I promise Daboll's offense will be easier to run than Brian Callahan and Bo Carter. I promise it will be. Joe Blacko, like if somebody want to think about what Cam Ward is, go from the bye week forward and look at the last month and a half of Cam Ward's season, and then you could kind of see what Cam Ward can project to year 2. The first 8 weeks was just tragic. First 8 weeks was tragic. If the standards of Titans don't get any primetime games, the number 1 pick should apply to the Raiders. No shit. Stop it. We're not gonna do the Titan crybaby thing. What we is gonna demand is, instead of demanding the league, the other 31 teams in the NFL to care about us, we need to demand the standard. We went and got the coaching staff. We got Saleh. We got Daboll. We got Gus Bradley. We got White Kite. We got all these coaches. Chad Brinker out the way. He can't be the problem. Mike Vrabel ain't the problem. John Robinson ain't the problem. You had 2 good draft class, 2 good offseason. You killed free agency. You went crazy in the draft. Titans still got the most cap space of any team in the NFL. You got new jerseys. You got a new stadium coming. Every Titan legend on earth came back to celebrate. This is the season in commemorance of Coach Mack. You got a new stadium coming. Bruh, if the Titans don't play better football after 2, 3, and 14 season with all they done, just throw the team away. Just push it into the river. We don't need to talk about primetime games until we do something. Do you want that team last year to be on? And look, Mason Rudolph and Will Levis's Brian Callahan team, or Corey Levin running routes with Mason Kinsey and Van Jefferson. We don't want that on primetime. We got to do something to earn a primetime game. We need to stop crying. All teams is not created equal. We need to earn our right to be on primetime. EP was popping, man. EP, I don't know if you've seen it or not. My YouTube breakdown of every different. I did a whole pod every day after the draft. Each division. I'm sorry, man, but your Commanders let me. Y'all, why are y'all not getting Jaden Daniels any help? I just seen Jawan Jennings go to the Vikings. Kyler Murray been in Minnesota for 6 weeks, and he got more help than Jaden Daniels got out there. The Giants went crazy in the draft. The Cowboys went crazy in the offseason. The Eagles went crazy. Commanders over there with a bag of potato chips for Jaden Daniels to come back with. Yeah, look, y'all need to call Cliff Kingsbury and tell him y'all sorry and get some help out there. Because I know the game plan wasn't to wait on Brandon Ayuk's crazy ass. They need to get some help for Jaden Daniels. I feel bad for him. Dabo definitely has a plan. The schedule dropped Thursday 2 times. EJ, Nito. Hey, EJ, y'all went crazy in this offseason. I can't even front. Y'all went crazy. Y'all defense ain't gonna be as good as it was, but y'all went crazy in the offseason of offense. Who you think is the closest comp for Cam? I want to say Mahomes so bad. Nah. To me, Cam is Cam because of the mentality. Like, it's easy to try to compare him to like throw types and off angles. To me, I put Cam Ward to be more like a black Matt Stafford. Cam Ward is not finna run 70 yards down the sideline like Lamar Jackson. I know that there was a lot of Titan fans that are not. Let me say, there was a lot of Caucasian Titan fans that didn't know who Cam Ward, that thought just because he was a black quarterback that he was fast. He is not that. Cam Ward is more of a Matt Stafford, that more of a, like, he gonna throw crazy angles, he gonna get the ball out high. Like, he more of a Matt Stafford, Brett Favre than a Michael Vick or Lamar Jackson. That's the way I look at him. I look at Cam Ward more of a Brett Favre, Matt Stafford type than like thinking about like trying to compare him to Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen or somebody. Because Cam Ward want to throw the ball. He don't want to run. He will run. He's strong. He don't want to run. Cam want to get the ball out. Rodgers. Yeah, you can say crafty like Rodgers, but I don't even know if Cam Ward is more athletic than Aaron Rodgers in his prime. But when you think about these type of numbers in the history of the Tennessee Titans, like, Tennessee Titans is very poor when it comes to when it comes to having, like, because we've always been like running back you, but it shouldn't go from Warren Moon all the way to Cam Ward. We talking about from 1991 to 2026. That is a quarter century of nobody throwing for, like, nobody had a hot season. Like, nobody just got hot and just bombed it out. It don't matter if we win or lose, just bomb. Because you got to think, Ryan Tannehill had a 4,000 yard season in Miami before he even ever got to Nashville, which is nuts if you think about it. Just put that in perspective. Ryan Tannehill threw for 4,000 yards as a Dolphin, but not as a Titan. As good as a run as Tannehill had, and if we being fair, ain't many people had a better run than Tanny. You wasn't born to 96. Don't make me old. 96, big body sitting on, like, you. Ooh, y'all missed so much good stuff in the 90s and 80s. Pull his stats up for his rookie year, because I remember you saying he would have better numbers than Danny Dimes. Hey, we ain't ducking no smoke. Hey, just remember this 2 times. There ain't many content creators that actually will do this. Rookie season, Cam Ward statistics. 60% passing, 3,169 yards, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, sacked 55 times. And see, that's the thing that Cam Ward, a lot of these 55 sacks was on Cam Ward in the first half of the season, because they wasn't really giving up sacks the second half of the season if you go look at the game splits. So if you cut those sacks down and the Titans are actually moving the ball and picking up first downs, this completion percentage need to get between 65 and 70. This need to get he need to at least have 3,819 yards passing, and he need to double this. This need to be 30 touchdowns and around 10 interceptions and fumbles. So I ain't gonna just say just picks. He had a lot of fumbles too. So Cam Ward gotta Cam Ward for sure gotta be able to hang on to the football better. So those are my things for Cam Ward. Cam Ward's gotta hold on to the football better, and he's gotta take less sacks. But I expect the offense to be better for him. Like, it's like the people that said Cardinal Tate couldn't be a one. I'm like, well, just scale Jeremiah Smith and Cardinal Tate to Joe Burrow's year that you had Jay Jettis and Jamar Chase. Like, Joe Burrow have 5,600 yards and 60 touchdowns. Like, if you're in an offense that moves the ball and scores more and you're playing all 4 quarters of the game, like, I could see Cam Ward's numbers easily getting up there to break Ryan Tannehill's, because when you look at Ryan Tannehill's tenure as a Titan, and there's not many people that
$15 a month at Mint Mobile.
Here we go. I always gotta throw a commercial in there on ESPN. I ain't paying y'all in Disney for that. When you look at Tannehill's career, the run he had, look, 3,900, 4,000, 4,000, 3,000, and then he gets traded to the Titans, and 70% completion percentage, 2,700 yards coming off the bench, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and then the next 3 years is the years he had to run. We talk about 3,819 yards on 65% completions, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, only sacked 24 times. And see, that's what Cam Ward got to be shooting for. If Cam Ward plays 17 games and throw for 65% or better completion percentage, he'll hit the 4K, I think. And I think he'll easily be over 30 touchdowns passing. But then you look at Tannehill down the stretch. I mean, bro, 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 10 years into your career. Sack totals going up. And then that last year, that I just felt bad for him. 1,600 yards, 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, sacked 32 times. Only playing 10 games. He can sack over 3 times a game. So when you look at all-time Titans, I think Cam Ward should easily be able to make this run. Like, look at Mariota's time with the Titans. 2,800, 3,400, 3,200, 2,500. These were playoff teams that he was on, where he's barely hitting 3,000 yards. More interceptions than touchdowns. That's the tough part. I mean, let's look at McNair. Let's look at Steve McNair. I mean, we talk about like McNair's best years is like 3,300 yards, 22 passing touchdowns, 15 picks. 21 passing touchdowns, 12 intercept, 15 and 13. Like, these are not hard numbers for Cam Ward to overcome. And then when you look at Warren Moon, like, this is ungodly. We talking about 80s. 33, 27, 34, 28, 23, 36, 46, 46. Like, throwing for 46.89 and 46.90 and 90 and 91. And he threw for 4,600 yards in 15 games, bro. I mean, Warren Moon is putting that thing up. Like, those are beastly numbers. Then when he got to Minnesota, 42, like, Warren Moon was still bombing later in his career. Like, Cam Ward, I think in his career at one point, he could shoot for this in franchise history, like total franchise history. But like, realistically right now, like, Cam Ward should be thinking like, I'm finna throw for 4K this year, and I'm finna put the Titans era passing records on my back. No, he's definitely not doing no mentoring, Joe Blacko. He'd be a better team player. I think it's better, but not by much. Racy McMath. Don't bring that name up. Yeah, he did build it for Marcus. But Tanny balled out. Corey. Less drops. Yeah, I mean the coaches and the team sold Cam out the gate. I think that first game against the Broncos, there's 8 confirmed drops. Yeah, I think Cam and you two should be crazy. Oh yeah, you gotta do right by Moon. Okay, so let's look at 2 times when we bring up Danny Dimes last year. 3,100 yards, 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 22 sacks. Daniel Jones was playing really good last year. I mean, look at Danny Dimes in New York. He barely was sniffing 3,000. 3,027, 2943, 2428, 3205, 909, 2070. Like, bruh. Like, Daniel Jones has only had 1 year where he had more passing yards than Cam Ward's rookie season. So if Cam throw for the 38-19 this season, like, he'll probably outdo Danny Dimes next year. He'll probably outdo Danny Dimes next, because I don't know how healthy Daniel Jones will be to play next season. I don't know how healthy he'll be. Said double the wins. I expect them to play close to 500 football. I think that would be a vast improvement. I'm not saying playoffs. I'm not saying win the South. I'm not saying win 10 games. I'm saying they should be close to 500 football this year. I be buying Jonathan Taylor more than Daniel Jones. I don't know how healthy. Like, Mahomes and Daniel Jones is gonna start the season off like Kirk Cousins last year. Kirk Cousins started off last year, and he had that 6-game stretch where Kirk Cousins just his body sold him. I'm just not a believer that somebody can come off that type of injury and be 100% when the season starts. And the Colts offense is worse this year than it was last year. I just don't see how Daniel Jones is going to come back and just jump right in to form. Like, I think it's going to take him a little bit. Yeah, you heard it. I wish I could soundproof the door, but I can't. Talking about Shane Steichen. I mean, I don't see, bro, when you go look at the AFC South breakdown that we did, like, what about the Colts roster make you think their offense is going to be better this year than last year? I just can't see it. He really is. I mean, like, let's be serious. Daniel Jones not knowing how he going to come back. Anthony Richardson wants to be traded. Riley Leonard, they didn't give him no snaps. You got Seth Hennigan as the 4th quarterback. You got Jonathan Taylor, who gonna carry the load for them. Jonathan Taylor, one of the best backs in the league, no doubt. But now they're down to DJ Giddens, Seth McGowan, Ulysses Bentley the 4th, Alec Pierce, who nobody knows after he got this $30 million, can he be the number 1 receiver? You got Josh Downs, who's a really good slot receiver. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, and we love the Honda. We love Nick Westbrook. But you go from Michael Pittman Jr. to Nick Westbrook, Anthony Gould, Deion Burks, who's a speedster out of Oklahoma, but he don't have a good route tree. And if you got Downs on the field, like where does that put Deion Burks? Laquan Treadwell, bro. Tyler Warren need to get 1,000 yards receiving. Him and Mo Alley Cox. Like I don't see nothing about that offense that make you think Daniel Jones gonna have a better year this year than last year, unless the Colts go make some move and pick up Stephon Diggs or somebody, or they're the team that get Ayuk to stop playing crazy and going AWOL, or they get Deebo Samuel. So I don't know. Like I don't see nothing on the Colts offense that make me feel like this Colts offense finna like put up numbers. You gotta think. Alec Pierce was the 4th leading reception leader on the team. He's like Jonathan Taylor and Tyler Warren hold the safeties in eyes in the backfield. Michael Pittman Jr. is the number 1. Alec Pierce run deep routes for the Colts. They play action with Daniel Jones and give him time to throw the ball deep to Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce got to go from 47 catches to like 100 this season. Do he have that in him is the question. Where if Nick Westbrook-Ikhine is out there and Josh Downs, he going to get safety help rolled over top of him. The deep threat for Alec Pierce ain't going to be there this season. They need to get another number 2. They're going to roll the safety to Alec Pierce. He going to draw a number 1 corner and a safety rolling over every time. Yeah, but they lost some of their people, though, 2 times. If I was a coach, I would have called Tannehill before I called Rivers. Man, the coach knew it was over once Danny Dimes went down anyways, though. There was no chance. Said Giddens is cold. Career 26 carries for 96 yards. All right, man. I believe you, bro. DJ Giddens is going to take him to the promised land. They cook, Corey. They don't even know it. So just say Danny Dimes don't come back 100% with that offense with Anthony Richardson in there. We're like, what you doing? Hendricks was popping. Yeah, Tyler Warren is cold. Second coming of Peyton Manning. That's what I'm saying. Like $30 million for Alec Pierce. I don't know if like they're talking about. They don't know if Carnell Tate could be a 1. I'd much rather have Carnell Tate as my 1 than get $30 million for Alec Pierce and lose Michael Pittman. For ticket sales. That was weird though. Like I don't know why they wouldn't have just said let's see what they got in Riley Leonard. I don't understand teams drafting quarterbacks in the later rounds and grooming them as QB2, like Will Howard on the Steelers. Like if Aaron Rodgers go out and you feel like you still gonna make the playoffs, why would you run Mason Rudolph out there instead of Will Howard just to see what he got? Because now you haven't seen what you got in Will Howard, and then you draft Drew Aller. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't make sense. Like in that case, let Riley Leonard go out there and fall on his face because he's not the future at QB anyways. You still got Anthony Richardson sitting there, and you want to give Daniel Jones $50 million guaranteed. Doesn't make sense. I ain't gonna say the Colts gonna be bad because the Colts is always a tough game. I'm just saying they're not gonna. Like they were 8-1 until the injuries last year. I don't see them being a team that start off hot like that. You see, I think Shane is a superior schemer and play caller. He makes his QBs look good. I don't even think it was him. I think Jonathan Taylor had 9 touchdowns on the Tennessee Titans the last 3 games he played. So when you watch them play, Jonathan Taylor is a back that led the league in rushing. When you have a Saquon, a Jonathan Taylor, a CMC, a guy that can do so much, and you got good tight ends like Tyler Warren and Mo Alley Cox, you can run 12 personnel and just play action. Like Daniel Jones was like play action and using his legs to extend plays. That's what made Peyton Manning days good. They ran that stretch with Joseph Adai and Adrian James, Dallas Clark. You got Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison on the outside. And then they bring in Stokely like they bring in a slot receiver to cook you when they get out of 12 personnel. And they just make you line up and play base where you kind of got to sell out a little bit or play one-on-one too much. I just don't think they got the talent to do that now. There's no Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce and Tyler Warren and Jonathan Taylor and Downs, because they traded A.D. Mitchell last season too. A.D. Mitchell was supposed to be the guy that took over for the role of Pittman, so it would have been Alec Pierce, A.D. Mitchell, Downs, like that. NWI is your 4th, but that's not what they got. Hendricks, it was weird. That's like the Cardinals. You got Brissett and Minshew. If they playing bad and you don't just throw Carson Beck out there the second half of the season to see what he can do, why did you draft him? Same with the Jets. If Geno Smith fall on his face and it's week 6 and they don't put Cade Klubnik in, like what are you saving him for? You got 3 first-round picks next year. You're gonna go after Arch Manning or Dante Moore, or Trinidad Chambliss. Like, put him out there and see what you got. People don't know how good Pittman is. I think Pittman will probably have more receptions than DK Metcalf in Pittsburgh. Because to me, DK Metcalf just an athlete. He don't never produce like he supposed to. I think Michael Pittman is the guy that's going to get them 90 catches this year. Because he like a Nico Collins. They just get open and catch the ball. Yeah, and then that's what I'm saying. Like, you got Michael Pittman, 100-catch receiver as your 1, and Alec Pierce as your 2 that could just, when the safeties is looking at Jonathan Taylor and Tyler Warren, he's running one-on-one down the sideline. Now, Alec Pierce do have that 6'3" and fast as hell, but him as the 1 going from like 47 receptions to 100 this season is going to be a heavy workload for Alec Pierce. He got the talent to do it. I just don't know if they're going to be able to put it together. He said the Titans are going to win it. I think the Texans is the best team in the South. Not by some landslide, but I just think the Texans' defense is too good, and they had a really good offseason. Yeah, I mean, they got Michael Pittman Jr., they got Rico Dowdle, they got Jeremy Bernard from Alabama. Like, Pittsburgh got Jamel Dean. Like, Pittsburgh had a good offseason. It's just they let Aaron Rodgers play with them. Man, Corey, do you remember that game where they went to overtime and we had Trey Avery on Michael Pittman for the game? I'm yelling at the TV like, why is Trey Avery on Michael Pittman? They did some kind of, I don't know what kind of play they ran. They did some motion stack. I'm just like, why is Trey Avery on Michael Pittman? Michael Pittman caught the pass like a center in the paint. Like, you know how they tell a big man don't bring the ball down, just catch it and dunk. He just caught it and dunked. Like, bro, like what are we doing? Like, why is Trey Avery on Michael Pittman Jr. for the game? Jets is a whole nother situation. Thing about the Jets is Geno probably gonna play better in New York than he did with Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll. I don't know what they was doing. They was too busy arguing with the running back about how he stand up in the backfield. Like, I think the Jets has got some young talent. I think Geno will play better in New York, but I don't know if Aaron Glenn survives, because they might be Pearson and Gerard Mayo and Aaron Glenn. He might just be there as a placeholder so they can hire a new coach and let that new coach pick a quarterback next year. Unless Geno have a resurgence or Cade Klubnik get in and pull a Jackson Dart or Tyler Shook. and just go crazy when they get their opportunity. He said, my point on Shane is the Colts have had 22 points per game or more in the past 3 regular seasons, regardless of the QB. He's a good offensive mind. I'm not taking that away from him. I'm just saying this is going to be a tough challenge for him. Yeah, Corey, I was just like looking at the TV like, why? Why? It's barbecue chicken. That's what I'm saying, Hendrix. I think that's what they're going to do. They got 3 first rounds this year, and they got 3 first rounds next year. If you look at their roster, like from when we did the AFC East, I mean, realistically, when you look at their roster, bro, like Breece Hall just got signed. They got Geno Klubnik. Braylon Allen is a good secondary back. Garrett Wilson will be healthy with A.D. Mitchell, Omar Cooper Jr., Kenyon Sadiq, Mason Taylor, Jeremy Ruckert. Like they first 4 go in. You know, I'm not knocking where they at there. You see what I'm saying? Fashanu, Armand Membo, Dylan Parham, Joe Tippin, like they, you know, even on defense, David Bailey, T Sweat, McDonald, Maui Noah, Demario Davis, Michael Walker, D'Angelo Pond, Cisco, Minka, Brandon Stevens, Brownlee Jr., Malachi Moore, Nashawn Wright. I mean, I ain't gonna knock. They got some young talent, and they got 3 first rounders next year. I just think they're gonna Aaron Glenn is the setup job. Either Aaron Glenn is gonna have them playing out their mind year 2, and we're gonna be talking about him as like coach of the year candidate, or we're gonna know they already looking at who they want to hire to take over the Jets and draft one of those 3 quarterbacks. I don't hate it for them because they got guaranteed clauses in their contract where their coaches get paid. It's one or 2 things gonna happen. You a black coach, you coming into the NFL, you finna have a tough situation to deal with. Either you gonna barbecue or mildew, get it popping. You know what I'm saying? Do a Mike Tomlin, hop in there and run 20 years and never have a losing season and step out on top. Have you a Super Bowl on your wing, go on ESPN and talk trash on NFL in the morning. That's how it works. This is gonna be interesting though, man. I think the Titans gotta play 500 ball, and I think Cam Ward gotta break the Titans era record this year. Like, I'm gonna be real. Cam Ward had almost 3,200 last year. If Cam Ward don't break Tannehill's record, they're gonna be questioning if Cam Ward should have been the first pick or not. I know Titan fans don't want to hear that. I'm a biggest Cam. Y'all know I was clamoring for quarterback all the time leading up into the draft. I was one of the only people that truly was saying, I want quarterback. We get Cam Ward. I'm ecstatic. I understand the rookie season and everything that went at it wholeheartedly. But the rest of the media is going to be on the Titans' neck. And seriously be on the Titans' neck if Cam Ward don't throw for 4K. What up, Buddha? I'm late, but I caught the live stream, bro. Tighten up. Getting paid to sit at the crib. Give me that David Culley. Man, give me that Ed Orgeron. You know what I'm saying? Give me that. You know, Rand Carthon is still getting that chicken out of Nashville, man. Look, like he still get to talk football with no pressure of drafting or worrying about if the team wins or not. I think more than just Salah's neck, I think they're gonna be on Brian Daboll and Cam Ward's neck to say, like, you have to do more than what you did with Brian Callahan and Bo Hardegree with Mike McCoy and Nick Holst. Like, there's just no shot if you go into it and you can't outdo the last staff that was here. It's like really set up for Hero. Like I could see Brian Daboll like turning Cam Ward into like a 4,000-yard passer, and like Brian Daboll being hired to coach the Jets next season. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of stuff we talking about. If they, because it could be like an ungodly like turnaround. It's like you took over a job where the last person was just a complete incompetent person in that job title, and you come in and you just show up and basically do nothing and people praise you. That's what this job would be like if they get it right. Titans can win 8 games and people would think like, oh my God, Robert Saleh and Daboll's got him on the right path. Like,